Take a look at this. It's Miss Lucille Tibbs climbing over a wall so she can get to a grocery store. And this is just one of the obstacles in her way. We first told you about Miss Tibbs, who lives in Southeast D.C., back in May. And many of you were upset about her struggles to buy groceries. She lives in what's called a food or a grocery desert. Tonight, our Larry Miller shows you how you, our viewers, responded in a big way.
I climb over that fence,
You
sir.
climb over the fence?
Yes, yes.
It was this image here that galvanized many of you at home.
I'm 82.
Miss Lucille Tibbs, 82 years young, climbing over a wall,
Okay, thank you.
then riding a bus for miles just to get to the nearest grocery store.
What kind of car is this? Where you get this car from?
Costco's.
Miss Tibbs lives in the east end of town in Ward 7. Between Ward 7 and 8, there are only 3 grocery stores for more than 148,000 people, which is primarily African American. Across town, in Ward 3, which is primarily white with a higher median income, there are 9 grocery stores for half the amount of people.
All right, think about this for a second. There are only 3 grocery stores for residents that live in Ward 7 and 8, which means trying to fill your refrigerator up with food once a month is a challenge, especially for residents like Miss Tibbs.
I like where I live at because it is convenient, and I don't have to go too far for the bus, you know, to get on the buses.
After our first story aired, we received dozens of messages from people like Carmen Shamel saying that the disparity in service is disgusting. And David Street writing, shaking my head, we are doing too much talking, we need action. Some kind souls reached out to us offering to drive Miss Tibbs to the grocery store. Others, like the Justice Organization, a group trying to improve the community, now drops off food once a month for free to help Miss Tibbs limit her long trips to the grocery store.
It's so wonderful, you all, because that helps me a whole lot. One loaf of bread costs $3, and it's only one store that has bread, and that's 7-Eleven.
It was heart-wrenching to see that because we all have elderlies, and I'm not going to get emotional, but you know, in our family.
I know.
And so when we see stuff like that, it's just like, wow, we have to do something. What can we do?
Community activists and entrepreneurs like Philip Samble are trying to help. In 2019, he'll open a second location of his Good Food Markets in Ward 8. That opening will give Ward 8 only its second grocery store.
That new grocery store is going to be located here, the intersection of South Capitol and Atlantic. There are about 30,000 people that live within a 1-mile radius that will now have a grocery store near their house.
You know, for years I heard all across the board, from bank offices to, you know, the guy on the street, oh, these people don't want that food. I knew that that was fundamentally wrong.
The D.C. Council recently passed 3 bills aimed at incentivizing large grocers to plant locations in the East End. Still, no business has signed on. We asked Councilman Gray in May if he thought race played a role in the disparity.
I think it's different in this instance. The economics haven't induced some of these folks to be able to locate on the East End.
Does race have an impact on where people invest? Yeah, I think it does, and I think that's evidenced by how many organizations within DC and nationally are working to change that.
The new grocery store in Ward 8 won't help Miss Tibbs much. It's still out of her way, but she's happy a new store is moving to the East End.
But I hope one day that you know, a store will come, because it is a struggle. It's so wonderful.
I'm glad we can help you. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
So glad to see somebody stepping up to help.